Okay, so everyone is here. First of all, okay, so it looks like everybody, for the most part, took the exam. Okay, what were your thoughts on it?
Thought it was fair.
Okay.
Expected.
Was option 1, option 2, option 3, or option 4 the correct option?
We're gonna go.
Yeah,
We're gonna
that
go
makes
over it
me
right now.
confused.
Okay. So for those of my international students that are watching, I'm pausing the video because we're actually going to go over the exam. I do not want to release this. Okay, so we're going to spend no more than 10 minutes. Again, I thought it was a fair cumulative exam to test what you guys know. Would you guys agree? Yeah? Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, so what we're going to move on to right now, okay, open up a new class, a new whatever, open up your Eclipse, okay? So as soon as I'm done grading the other tests, you can cast it, don't worry about it. I cut you. So Alex is asking, shouldn't the hours variable be an int because in the display it shows 35, not 35.0? Well, think about it, Alex. If you store it as a string, what would print out?
35.
Oh, but if you used it as a double and you parse it, it prints out 35.0. That would be me nitpicking. I'm not going to mark you off on that. You understand what I'm saying? That would be like, I would just be like angry at you for doing something stupid like that. Like there, and it's not even stupid. It's a logical, very logical question. If like Dylan did it or you've been, yeah, I'd be a little mad and probably mark him off just for, annoying me. But if, other than that, it's pretty easy. Okay. All right, so here we go. All right, so what we are now learning, we are moving on to the bread and butter, okay? So some of you know this great, some of you don't. Oh, well. Oops, hold on one second. Why did I push it? Okay, good, here we go. Okay, so can you guys see my Eclipse, all right? All right, perfect. So what we're gonna be working on is our last variable, okay? We are going to be working on our last variable that we need to know pretty much for all of programming. Now there are new variables. For example, in Swift, they have UI64 int, which is the new way of storing an integer variable as a 64-bit integer. Okay, so that's all, whatever. That's just, because you can use numbers now in NASA that, that are crazy 128-bit. We don't need to worry about that, okay? So the last one that we are learning is a variable called Boolean. Boolean, okay? And Boolean is a variable that only stores 2 answers. Now, I can actually declare a Boolean variable. I can say Boolean A equals true. I can say Boolean B equals false. Okay? Either one is good. I can also say Boolean, or let's say, for example, Boolean C equals, actually, I don't want to get into that just yet, okay? So what I can also do is, so Boolean A equals true, Boolean B is false, and if I want to print out the Boolean, so let's say, for example, I print out B, okay, I want to print out B, and I run this code, okay, I get false. Now, it's different. In newer programming languages, the true and false are lowercase, okay, or capitalized. In Java, it's lowercase. Now, true and false, you use this all the time in mathematics with things called inequalities, okay? Now, inequalities yield a true or false, okay? So we have to now discuss what we call logical operators, okay? And the logical operators, for the most part, are the same as they are in algebra, okay? All right, actually, you know what? I'm gonna make a what's it called? A block comment. Okay, so let's see. Henry, what does this symbol mean?
Sorry, my mic was muted.
That symbol means less than.
Okay. Alex, what does this symbol mean?
Greater than.
Okay. Okay, now in algebra, we have this, okay? So we have this symbol here, okay? Yubin, what is this symbol here?
Less than or equal to.
There you go. See, I knew you could speak. Okay, less than or equal to, all right? Now, obviously, we cannot do that symbol in programming. It doesn't exist, okay? So we have to basically be phonetic. Less than or equal to. Okay, so if that's less than or equal to, what do you think this one is, Thanos?
I don't know, greater than or equals to?
You can be taught. Okay, greater than or equal to. Okay, then we have, now, we have already used this. What is that, Lance? I know this is a tough one.
An equal sign.
An equal sign. Very good. See, I don't care what people said about you, Lance. I knew you could get this. All right. Now, this is an equal sign, but the equal sign already has a purpose in programming if it's one equal sign. Okay. It's called the assignment operator. When we are doing Boolean expressions or logical expressions, we are doing comparisons. So if I need to see if something is equal to something, it's two equal signs. Okay. Now, another one that I need to know is not equal to. So in algebra, okay. Logan, bruh. What's this, bruh?
Not equal to.
Very good. Listen to that voice. So confident. Okay. Not equal to. But yet again, this does not exist in El Worldo de Program. Okay. That is German for the world of programming. Okay. So we use not equal to. Okay. Not equal to. All right. Okay. We need to know three more. You can use this. Okay. This is just called the Borat operator. Not. Okay. That's actually what this means. It's not the Borat operator, but it's basically not. Okay. It means not. All right. And then we have two more. Double ampersand means and. We're going to get into that. We also have or. Okay, this is or. All right. We're going to need these operators literally from now on. You will use these nearly on a daily basis. Okay, know them. They are not hard. Okay, for those of you new to programming, the only ones that might throw you off are the equals, not, ands, and ors. Everything else should be fair game. Okay, even specifically greater than or equal to. I have a lot of kids that are really good at math that tell me they kind of wish this is how it was in algebra because it's just easier to understand. Okay, so that being said, let's move on. Let's say I had int a is equal to 6 and I had int b is equal to 8. All right, so let's go C and D. Okay, C and D. Now I can say int e equals, or again, I'm sorry, not int e. I can say Boolean e equals C is less than D. And if I print out E, this is going to be true. This expression will yield a true or false, and that will be stored in the Boolean, okay? Let me repeat that. This will yield a true or false, okay? And then it will store that in E, okay? If I wanted to say C is equal to D, false, okay?
Mr. Martina,
Yes.
Alex just got kicked.
He got kicked out. Okay, just no worries. Tell him if anything he's missing, just watch the recording if you can do that for me.
Okay.
Oh, he's back. All right. Okay. All right, Alex. Welcome back. Ni hao. Okay, perfect. All right. So now the next thing, hold on one second. I am recording, right? I should be recording. Let me just check real quick. Hold on.
Says you are.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure that I was recording. I didn't see the recording. Okay, so now I have this now 9 times out of 10. You're not even going to see Boolean. You won't even be asked to create a Boolean variable. Okay, 99 times out of 100, this will not happen. Some programmers do it to control loops and stuff like that. You can do, and it's just like a user preference. But again, 9 times out of 10, you will not have to do that, okay? Instead, you will always use an expression. It's how we control loops, if statements, while loops, everything moving forward, okay? So that being said, let's take a look at this example here, okay? We're gonna create a scanner. Okay, all right. So we're gonna use demonstration here, okay? So we're gonna say sysout oops. What the heck happened? Hold on one second. That's weird. Okay, I'm gonna say, how old are you? And I am going to store that. What's a good variable to store that in? Give me a good variable.
Int.
Int what?
Int age.
Bingo. KB dot next int. All right. Then I'm gonna say sysout. Okay. Do, all right. What's it called? Sysout. Do you have $20 in cash? Okay. Now what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
String.
String cash equals one word answers, right? Pretty much. What's the answer going to be? What or what?
No or
Yes
yes.
or no?
Yes or no? Bingo. AB dot what, Thanos? What would be the best one to use, especially if I only want to use one scanner?
KB dot next.
Perfect. Okay. I'm answering these 2 questions. All right. And what I'm going to do is this. Okay. I am going to now print out true if they qualify to get into the club. If they don't, okay, then they do not get in. Now, let's see, who realistically is probably going to the club? Definitely not Ian. Gary, my boy. Gary, because I know Gary loves taking his girl to the club. Okay. So if by club you mean getting club sandwiches, that also matters. Okay. But let's say, okay, how old do you need to be to get into the club?
10.
No. 10? What club are you going to?
I don't know.
Let's say a
Like-
nightclub in Los Angeles.
18.
Who said 18? No,
21.
16?
21.
2.
21. Okay, age is now greater than Euban, greater than 21,
Greater than or equal to.
greater than or equal to 21. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of my operators. Now, in order to get into a club in LA, there's 3 things that you have to be. Okay, you have to be greater than or equal to 21. You have to have the cover charge, and you have to not be Lance. Okay. Now, if you're any of those things, then you're probably going to get into the club. Okay. You're probably going to get into the club. But right now, we're just going to deal with the cash. Okay. So you need $20 in cash. So we need to meet both of these arguments. Okay. We need to meet both of these arguments. So we're going to use our and. Okay. Now, okay, here's my question. Cash is greater than or equal to 20. I get an error. Why? I'm sorry. Cash equals yes. Okay. Right? I get an error, usually, if I run this, okay? Now, I think they've made a modification where this will work, but they don't want to see this on the AP. I specifically remember that, okay? We're dealing with strings. Equals equals is for numerical operators only. You guys have learned a string method that checks for equality.
Dot equals.
Dot equals, okay? So if I say cash dot equals, now what if they use a capital Y or a capital N or capital letters? What's
Dot
another
equal-
one?
Dot equals ignore
Ignore.
case.
Bingo! There you go. Ignore case, and I'm gonna say yes, all right? Okay, so in this instance, this is going to spit out a true or a false. This one is going to spit out a true or false, okay? So how old are you? Let's say we're 22. Do you have $20 in cash? Yes. True. How old are you? 20. Do you have $20 in cash? Yes. False. Honto desu yo. Mite mitai to desu ne. Okay. Let's change this to an or. How old are you? 20. But we're in Los Angeles. Do you got the cash? Yes. Ah. You don't say. Okay. Now, this leads us into our truth tables. Okay. So the inside are our ands and ors they have something called truth tables. And basically what it is it's a scale of how things work. So I'm going to share this real quick with you. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at this. Where is it? Here we go. All right, here we go. So what you're looking at is the truth tables, okay? These are the rules for and or. Now, as you can see, if A is one side of the equation. So for example, A would have been is age greater than or equal to 21. Okay, the B side would have been and cash is equal to whatever, okay? So if side A is false and B is false, the whole thing will yield a false. If A is false and B is true, it will yield a false. If A is true and B is false, it yield a false. True, true. With an and, you have a 75% failure rate, okay? You have a 25% chance. It's the strictest. Whereas we go to or, so 1 second, if we go to or is a little bit loosey-goosey. If the only time that or is false is if both are false. If any one of them are true on either side or both are true, then the equation is true. Okay? So that being said, let's take a look. Let's say I have, let's say I'm gonna just, for right now, I'm just gonna make everything. Okay, okay. So let's say that I did this. Boolean A equals true. Boolean B equals false. Sys out. A is A and B, or B and A, or B. Word prints out. Now, in order to do this effectively, you have to have an understanding that just like PEMDAS, there is an order of operations on how you do these, okay? The order of operations is this. Hold on 1 second. The order of operations is equal to, not equal to, or sorry, it's not equal to, not equal to, and or. So knowing that and has precedence, now do this equation.
It's false, right?
What's up?
It's false.
Okay, let's do it together. Here we go. A and B, true and false, yields a what? According to our truth tables.
False.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write up here, I'm just going to rewrite the equation. False, or, now I'm going to do this side. False and true is
False.
false, or what's B?
False.
False. So false or false yields a false,
False.
and then false or false yields a,
Sure. False.
okay, false. All right. So, okay, that being said, let's mix it up a little bit. Okay. All right. Now, what you have to do is look at the knots exactly as they are. So, for example, this knot is being applied to B. So, if B is false, what is not false? True. What is not true? False. Okay, so now do this equation.
True.
Okay,
True.
let's rewrite the equations. Okay, ready? Here we go. A and not B. So this is true and true yields a true.
True.
Let me space this out. Not B is true. True and true is
True.
true. Okay. And so we take this true now and we use it in this equation. True and not true is false. So true and false is, this now becomes a false, and not true and true is what? or not false, and false is a false. So this rewrites to true or false is what?
True.
And then true or false is?
True.
Okay. All right. So these are the types of basically the logic that you have to have. Now I will tell you this, that this is a chapter in Blue Pelican. I'll tell you that Blue Pelican nails this. Okay. They absolutely, the chapter 8 on Booleans is a great chapter. Okay. They do an amazing job of explaining it and giving you multiple examples. Okay. Your homework assignment is going to be the exercises at the end of chapter 8, okay? And 1 through 13 odds, okay? End of chapter 8, 1 through 13 odds, all right? Understand how to do the nots, the ands, everything like that, okay? So, does anybody have any questions? All right. Now, again, when it comes to the test, you know, basically what's going to happen is when it comes to the test, I will make sure that, how do you say, I will have the reports. I've actually been grading them pretty fast, and I have kind of like nothing to do tomorrow night. I have nothing planned going on. So tomorrow I'll have everything set up really nicely, okay? Just because, you know, Thanos gives me a lot of slack and I just want to make sure that I keep him happy. Because that's what this class is about, right, Thanos?